In the last session, I compiled the seat component with spindle and leg sockets. I also carved the gutter decoration separating the spindle socket platform from the front of the seat. I also traced the sight lines from the imported fine woodworking drawing, and will need these sight lines to be attached to the seat to continue in this session. We could do some sculpturing of the seat at this stage, but I'm going to postpone that until I have all components in place. Let's install some legs on this seat blank. This is the scanned image of Figure 3 from the magazine article showing the leg and stretcher turnings. I've already done the tracings as shown in blue. A note on the figure explains different lengths for the front and back legs. I think it works out best to make all legs at the 19 3/8 inch length. The tenons are shown on these stretchers at only 5/16 diameter. This creates a very weak joint, and 5/8 inch diameter is recommended. I've already turned the leg and side stretcher. To turn the medial stretcher, I'll move this half-length scan over to the side. Change to perspective camera. Make a copy of this half shape and flip along the blue axis, and then reattach for the full-length stretcher. Explode these groups then make a component called medial stretcher. I'll edit the component and delete the center line. We need a path for the follow me, so place a circle on the component axis. Then select the path, pick the Follow Me tool, and click on the shape. You may have noticed that I have not tapered the leg tenons. This is a stretcher and they would not normally be tapered, but the leg tenons are also not tapered. In building my Windsors, I do not taper the tenons and leg sockets. I use straight tenons and wedge them. Okay, we're ready to connect a leg to the seat. I'll pick the leg component from the dialog box and bring it over and connect its end point, center point, to the midpoint of the socket here. Figure 2 of the magazine article gives the angle of the front leg at 18.5 degrees. This angle is measured with respect to a perpendicular plane on the corresponding sight line. Create a perpendicular plane on the sight line by drawing a line upwards on the blue axis, then finishing a triangle like this. Pick the protractor tool and hover over the triangle. Hold the Shift key to retain the protractor orientation and connect to the center point. Move up the blue axis and click to start the angle. Rotate to the right and type 18.5 and hit enter. Now there is a guideline showing the exact rotation of the leg. Pick the rotate tool. Again, hover over the triangle shape. Hold the Shift key and connect to the rotation point. Move up the blue axis, start the rotation, and end on the angled guideline. Now we can move the leg down the center line until it protrudes slightly above the seat plane. I view the bottom of the seat to check whether the tenon is long enough and that the leg is in a proper position. Delete the guideline and triangle, and we're ready to place the back leg using a similar procedure. However, this time the angle is 22 degrees. Connect the center point to the leg socket. Create the triangular perpendicular plane on the sight line. Pick the protractor tool and hover over that plane. Then hold the Shift key, connect to the center point, start the angle on the blue axis, bring it over, type 22, return, enter. We've got a guideline. Now pick the rotation tool and again hover over the plane, getting the correct orientation, holding the Shift key, going to the rotation point, clicking on the end point of the leg, bringing it over and stopping the rotation at the guideline, and we're ready to move it into proper position. Again, leaving a little protrusion at the top of the seat for glue up and wedging. Checking underneath, looks okay. We've got half a seat. At this point, we can copy the components using the Select tool, copy the leg and the seat, Control, copy, flip along red direction, and move into position. Zoom in here to make sure that those points are correctly connected, and you get an idea now of how the angles look. And the next stage is to place the side stretchers and the medial stretchers.